What's up guys, I finally got my hands on a set of the new Continental Grand Prix 5000 S TR tires, and I want to do a quick video with some feedback as well as hopefully answer the question, are these as good as the outgoing model? If you're looking for tech specs, I would check Continental's website as well as some of the other websites out there that rate the different tires against each other. Now, I'm going to focus on what these tires are like and how they feel from the perspective of a guy who rides between 5,000 and 6,000 miles a year in a handful of different conditions. So hopefully this provides some good value to you. In the spirit of full disclosure, the outgoing version is my favorite road tire of all time. I've put well over 10,000 miles on multiple sets of these tires and they've been absolutely phenomenal. They've been fairly bulletproof. I think I can count on one hand the number of punctures that I've had. Most of them have been sealed by sealant, and I can remember only one time that I've been climbing and I've had an issue where a piece of shale rock kind of sliced the tire and I had to install a boot. Other than that, these tires have been fantastic. Out of curiosity, what are your favorite road tires? Drop a comment below. I'm really curious to know what everybody else is riding out there. Earlier this spring, I took a little bit of a sabbatical from the Grand Prix 5000 Tubeless and went to the Goodyear Eagle F1 Super Sport Tubeless tire, mainly out of curiosity, and they were a fantastic tire. In fact, I think for the price point, these are probably one of the best value tires on the market. Now, I do this crazy 200-mile race every September that goes from Logan, Utah to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and for that specific race, I had to take off the Goodyears and put on my old tried and true GP5000 tires because I know they roll really well and I know that they're just absolutely bulletproof. So when it came down to the race, these were the tires of choice. When I saw the stats on these tires, it's actually pretty hard to believe that they could improve them that much. 20% faster rolling resistance, 28% better sidewall protection, and 50 grams lighter. Oh, and hookless compatibility. So all of you who are running these hookless wheels out there, NVAR, Zip 303Ss like I have, you can now use these tires on those wheels. I was really intrigued by these data points, but I wanted to know, how do these actually feel in the real world? The first thing you'll notice about these tires is that they're very familiar. They have the same packaging, the same tread design. In fact, one of the only real differences aesthetically is that the text on the tire is now all white, and they removed that little German flag that was right after the TL on the outgoing version. Let's talk about one of the first big improvements in this tire, and that is installation. I had so many friends who I kind of convinced to buy these tires because I was like an evangelist for them, only to have them buy them and not be able to mount them onto their wheels, or come back and say, dude, these tires are amazing, but it's really not worth it because these were such a nightmare to mount onto my wheels. Now the new hookless compatible tires are a little bit more pliable, they're easy to work with. You can tell that the bead is still thick, but it's not quite as thick as the outgoing version. That being said, it's still not as pliable and easy to install as something like the Goodyear Eagle F1 Super Sport, but it's a major improvement over the outgoing version. Like any new road tire, these roll really well right out of the box. In fact, you immediately know that you're on a premium road tire. If there's one thing that I noticed from riding these initially is that they don't quite feel as soft and supple as the outgoing version. Maybe that has to do with Continental switching from a 3-ply to a 2-ply construction, but it's noticeable when you hop on the road. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it is something that's different. One of the things I've always loved about this tire is the way that Continental seems to have found the perfect balance between rolling resistance and puncture resistance. These tires spin up so quickly. Now, they're not as fast as some of these light and thin Vittoria tires, but you have this added puncture protection that makes these tires, in my opinion, pretty bulletproof. Now, I don't have enough experience on them to say that they are more puncture resistant than the outgoing version, and I think it's going to take a while before we get some real world experience on these because they do just go so long. So are these better than the outgoing version? Are they lighter? Yes, the scale proves that. Do they roll faster? Well, they feel like they roll faster, although some of that may be placebo from reading Continental's marketing and selling points. I do, however, think there are two big wins for this tire. The first is that it's now hookless compatible. The second is that the road feel is dramatically improved. And maybe that's because Continental went from a 3-ply to a 2-ply construction, but it feels like these tires are solid and connected to the road, where I feel like the previous version, if there was ever a knock, it's that they felt a bit muted and a little bit too soft. How would I rate these tires? I'd give them a 10 out of 10, a solid 10 out of 10. And frankly, for a tire with a $100 price point, it should be a 10 out of 10. This is going to be my tire of choice for the Crux in Road Mode version 2.0. As soon as I can get my hand on a set of 32mm tires, I'm absolutely going to swap the Panaracer 35mm for these, and I think it's going to be an absolute road ripping machine. Then I can swap to the gravel wheels when it's time to ride gravel. That's all for this video. Thanks so much. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below if you want to. Thanks so much.